G'day champions, Shark Eyes back once again with another review for you. And today we're going to be looking at the Gijoe retro carded Sergeant Stalker. Now, I'm going to refer to him as Stalker. I'm not going to call him Sergeant Stalker. He's always been Stalker, and this silliness is not going to happen. So why don't we see what this has to offer and compare it to a couple of previous iterations of Stalker. Let's rock. Alright, so first things first, you've got the card art, and of course it is quite a nice homage to the original card art, and you've again got this nice thick card stock, which is good. Figure, stuff, we'll look at that closely in a second. File card in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different languages, and it only takes an excerpt from the original card. And it reads, generals may win campaigns, but it's the sergeants who win the battles mostly by yelling and kicking butt. Functions well under high-stress situations, intelligent, perceptive, moves like some sort of jungle cat, silent, fast, and strong. Now, on Stalker's original card, it tells you that he was a warlord of a street gang. Now, as far as I'm aware, that is something that's never been explored in the lore, other than maybe one panel in one of the early issues of the ARAH run where Stalker is fighting with a chain during a sparring session, I think. And I think it's when Storm Shadow rocks up, and it might be when he quick kicks ass. But don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've read those issues, so I could be wrong. But other than that, I don't think it's ever been explored. And I think that would be something that would be very cool to explore in the comics, because in a lot of ways, I feel like Stalker has been marginalized. Yes, you could argue, well, he's part of, you know, the whole Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, blah-de-blah. That's true, but his backstory, you know, I don't think he's ever had a love interest in the comics. Like, you know, this is a mainline character, and it's something that, you know, I think would be cool to see fleshed out. So someone tell Larry Hammer that. Other than that, you've got the cross cell here, which has 3 figures and all the legal mumbo jumbo bloody blah. But that's about it. So why don't we get him out of this plastic bubble and have a closer look. All right, so I'm going to start with the accessories. First up, you've got the backpack slash, I guess you could call it a holster or carry case, whichever you prefer, and it is exactly the same as the one that came with the classified Stalker. There is nothing different other than the color. This is black, the other one is like an olive drab, so that's that. Next up, you've got the heavy machine gun. I guess you would say it's kind of like a saw, sort of. And again, that came with the classified version, which I have on hand here. And you can see that they are practically identical. So nothing really of great note there. Is it a nice weapon? Sure. But yeah, not really moving the needle much. Next up, you've got his, you've got his sidearm and the suppressor, and it has a blast effects port, as does the heavy machine gun as well. And again, this came with the classified version. So if you've got that, you'll be familiar with it. It's nice enough. Suppressor's just going to go in like so, spin it around. Is it one of my favorites in the line? No, I don't like the suppressor. I know it is based on a more modern style of suppressor. So why is that coming with a retro figure? Yeah, which I guess you could also say for this. Anyway, moving on. Next up, you've got his M32 pulverizer, which is iconic, of course, to the figure. And again, it is identical to the one that came with the classified figure. This obviously being a retro figure fits the figure, and he should come with it. How is it looking in terms of straightness? The stock's a little bit bent. It's not too gummy, at least. So this can easily be bent back into place. It's no major big deal. I don't think the clip comes out. Oh no, the clip does come out in this one. So yeah, that is that. It comes with a knife. And lo and behold, it is exactly the same as the one that comes with the classified figure. It's nice enough, but is it straight? Yeah, nah, it's bent. Anyway, and the other accessory it comes with is his beret. Now, something of interest here. Let's just flip the classified one off and we'll have a little look at that. It is identical other than, hang on, out of focus here, other than the paint deco, which is full camouflage. Now, bone of contention here is that the original Stalker figure had a full solid green beret. Why didn't they do that with the retro figure? I don't know. But anyway, that's the accessories out of the way. Now, before I look at the figure, I would say, instead of packaging him with this, why didn't he get packaged with an XMLR laser rifle like Scarlet did, or like Duke did? Now, that's a fair question, I think. I have another question. Instead of this, why didn't they pack him with the M16 that came with Scarlet? And I'll tell you why that would make sense, because if you look at his file card, it tells you that he is qualified with the M16. So, why? Why did that not come with that? Even an M14 he's also qualified in. Now, we don't really have one of those in the line, I don't think, from memory. Gridiron do, and I will definitely be getting one from them soon. But yeah, it's like, there's no need for this at all. You know, we got one with the classified figure. Why are we getting it with the retro figure? Anyway, moving on. Let's look at the figure. And you'll see that the face sculpt is identical to the classified one. However, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this that well. You might be able to. Let me just see if I can get them as close together as possible. The skin tones are different. So the classified figure is a more muted skin color. The retro is lighter. The haircuts. Now, on this side you can see that classified Stalker has the fade with the line. Now there's no real line on the retro. But let's flip them around. And he does have the line there, but the fade is not as prominent. So if they weren't going to do the fade properly, why didn't they just fully do the paint like the original figure? Anyway, questions. They're fair. All right, so let's look at the T-pose. Moving quite well there, no problems. I should add, webbing here is exactly the same as the classified. It's only done in a different paint deco. There's nothing different about it. Butterfly, shoulder joints. Yep, they move okay. Forearms. Yep, not too bad. Flex. Range of movement in the head, he can look down slightly and he can look up ever so slightly. Legs, can he kick his own ass? Pretty much. What about with the other leg? Yep. So no looseness or tightness really in the joints. It's where you would want it to be. Got the boots and ankle rockers. You can do ballerina pose. Same sheath, same holster for the sidearm and the knife. Nothing different there. Looking at the back. This is sitting there, not too badly. Now, the camo does look good, I will give it that. But if we compare the two to the retro and the OG, you'll see that this is more a muted olive drab, whereas this is brighter. And they've gone heavier on the camo striping than they did with the original figure. You can see that quite prominently there. My OG Stalker is a bit worn and worse for wear. Now this isn't my original. My original is long gone, but I didn't get my OG Stalker until about 1989, 1990, when I found him at a flea market here in Melbourne on card for $2. And that was not a Joe cardback, it was actually an Action Man cardback, which is rare as hen's teeth now. And of course, being a kid, I opened it up because Stalker was one of my favorite characters. But yeah, he's long gone sadly, but I replaced him at a later time. So let's see how well he stands. Straight up, no issues there. Yep, all good in the hood. Before I kit him up, I just want to show you something else. This is one of the crown jewels of my collection. I'm very, very happy to own it, and it is the Takara Stalker, which I got a few years ago. I think it was a pandemic purchase actually. And these Japanese cardbacks are great, man. Like, just the colors alone, just so dynamic. So yeah, Stalker means a lot to me, big fan. So there was no way I wasn't buying this. So let's throw the beret on. And you know, there's that emblem there, which I know is also been a talking point for collectors, because I believe the Green Beret doesn't have an emblem on it. We'll throw on the holster, which I think is not that great, but sure, why not? And you can put this in there. No, I think you can only put the machine gun in there actually. I don't know. I never use this, so I think it's pretty whack, to be honest. But so that's that. It won't be staying on my one. But for the sake of this review, we'll chuck it on there. Knife in here. Bent knife, which should straighten out now. It won't be coming out of here. It'll just be staying in. That's really tough to get in. Oh, Lord. That is really, really tough to get in there. Let's see if I might have just loosened it up, but there we go. Now we got it in. That's what she said. Sidearm. Take the suppressor off. Fits in snug like so. And this will go in. Well, it should go in pretty easily. Sometimes these things can be a bit... There we go. And that's in. This backpack thing is just like... Because of the way these are designed, they just don't... If you're manipulating a figure, they just don't really hold in place that great. Like it'll stay on, but if you're fiddling around, it's going to swivel out and whatnot. I'll give him the M32 now. Which of course goes hand in hand with this figure. And there is Lonzo. All kitted up. What do you think, guys? You getting it? Or are you going to pass? You happy with your classified version? So, thoughts? I think it's lazy. I think as far as a retro release goes, they could have fleshed it out a bit better. You know, he's an iconic character. I think if you've gone as far as they did with the Stalker figure where she's loaded with gear, sorry, the Scarlet figure where she's loaded with gear, it's just a miss. You know, you're just basically getting the classified figure with the same stuff in a different paint deco. And I feel like they should do better. Like, it's poor form. It really is poor form. And, you know, you call me a sucker for buying it, but what are you going to do? You know, like, if you want him in that sort of OG camo look, then other than customizing it yourself, this is your only option. So yeah, you know, it's going to require some kitting out on my own behalf. And I think the argument can be made that, you know, this weapon here doesn't even actually suit the figure in terms of, you know, him being able to hold it or carry it properly. Like, this is lousy. And yeah, why not just give him other stuff? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Is it them cheapening out? What? Like, he comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons. And they're the same 4 that come with the classified figure. Like, make it make sense. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm not going to babble on about this. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. I will probably be cancelling the second one that I had, or selling it on to someone else. I don't want another one on card. If you're checking out the review, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer. Like, I just call it how I see it, and this is just a letdown. And, you know, I probably was expecting it, but at the same time, I like to be objective, and I don't like to really opine on things until I fully see them out of the packet. And this one is a misstep. Thanks for checking out the review. If you haven't seen any of my other reviews, and you're new to the channel, you're welcome to go back and check the other ones out. If you like the content, hit like, please. Even subscribe. I'll always have reviews coming as soon as I can get to them. I've got another one in the pipeline that I've yet to launch. I've filmed it. It's just time. Anyway, that is all. That is Stalker, not Sergeant Stalker. So until next time, say hi to your dogs for me and have yourself an absolute winner of a day. Peace.